Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter. I'm your host, Marlene Elizabeth. If I asked you, how much money do you need to feel secure? How would you answer that question today? For example, would you say, I don't need money to feel secure. I have enough to get by. And besides, money's the root of all evil. Or would you say something like this? The more money I have, the more secure I feel. I could never have enough. Or would your answer be more something like along the lines of, there's more to life than money, like making a positive difference? Well, whatever the answer is, all of us have a relationship to money that's complex and as unique as we are as individuals. So whether we avoid money, have an insatiable appetite for money, or strive with meaning and purpose apart from money, and everything in between, knowing where you stand and why is one of the most important first steps to creating a healthy balance in your financial life. Today's inspiring guest is a beautiful and powerful leader who specializes in empowering entrepreneurial women to get unstuck so that they can get out of their own way and finally live the lives they've been dreaming of.
Welcome to Let's Get Tender, Money Conversations That Matter, a video podcast series with certified money coach Marlene Elizabeth, with amazing weekly guests who share their inner challenges, personal triumphs, and inside tips and strategies so you can prosper, lead, and love bravely in business and life. So get comfy and get ready to grow money wings.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Marlene Elizabeth, founder and author of Money Wings. I'm a certified money coach and a mompreneur, and I'm very, very excited to have a money conversation today with Haley Reese. Hi, Haley. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Hi, Marlene. It's so good to be here. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Awesome. I can't wait to dive into this interview today. But before we do that, I just want to share with the audience a little bit of background about your story. And so you are all about holistic health and happiness. You empower entrepreneurial women to finally get out of their own way. I love it. And start living a life even greater than their dreams, so they can have the freedom to spend their time with their loved ones, travel the world, and indulge in their favorite luxuries. I love it. You're an NLP master practitioner, and you often fondly call NLP the last self-help you'll ever need. I love it. You combine your expertise as an NLP master practitioner with your work as a certified transformational nutrition coach to empower women to live their happiest, healthiest life through a holistic mind, body, spirit approach. I love it, Haley. I love it. And, before we dive into the questions, can you just share a little bit about what you mean by entrepreneurial women, an entrepreneurial woman?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my work, I primarily am working with any woman who has an online service-based business. So that's coaches, consultants, healers, thought leaders. Really, my biggest passion is helping women who are here to serve their communities, the world around them, and make it all a better place. So those are really the entrepreneurs that I'm working with most.
I love it. Yes. And I like the way you define that because you can be an entrepreneur where you're actually running your own business, right? But you can also maybe be working a 9-to-5 job, but have that entrepreneurial spirit, right? Where you kind of take responsibility and a leadership role and a creative role in the work you do, even if you're in a 9-to-5 job. So I love that. And also, can you tell us a little bit about NLP in case there might be somebody that's not quite sure what that is?
Definitely. So NLP stands for Neurolinguistic Programming, and it's essentially a language technology. It's a way that we can utilize language to literally rewire the neural pathways in our brains to optimize the way that our minds think. So it's amazing for doing things like removing limiting beliefs, fears, or phobias, for reducing the impact that trauma or PTSD has on someone, and for helping us just automatically and naturally start thinking more positively and in the direction of what we really want to manifest into our lives on a daily basis.
Powerful, right? A very powerful practice. Yes. And I know that your clients have received great, great results in working with you, where they weren't able to find those results in other approaches and in other avenues, but this really did unblock their whatever challenges they had, right, to achieving their success. So fantastic. Well, I'm really excited to have a money conversation with you. And I love always asking my guests, what was your first earliest memory of money?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I've been doing a ton of inner child work and just past, trauma work on myself lately. And it's really those first memories that can instill these stories and beliefs that we essentially run and operate our whole lives off of. So for me, it was really interesting because I grew up, and my parents were divorced from the time that I was 4. So really early on, pretty much my entire life. And the two of them had really distinctly different sort of money worlds in their own households. And so on the one hand, my mother worked 50, 60 hours a week, and what I feel like is, a really good job for society. She's a marriage and family therapist and does child custody mediations. And she was constantly working, loved what she did. She was never in debt, but she also never had like an abundance extra, like way, way more than enough. So from that memory, I got this idea that you can work really hard, do really good work, provide for your family, but never have more than enough. And then on the other side of things, my dad sort of inherited his family business, or at that time, I guess he was still working with his father, with his family. And money came really easy. It flowed really easily for him. He was able to take us on vacations, and I rarely heard no when it came to things that I desired. And so then I had this like totally different idea of money on the other end, where money came easily and it was never ending, and there was this natural flow, and you could get whatever you desired as long as you asked for it. And so growing up, it just created this and when I started taking money over and taking that responsibility over for myself, it created this sort of weird conundrum to work through. Honestly, it's been interesting.
Well, and that kind of leads me to my next question is, have you found that there's been like one self-limiting belief that kind of became a contributing factor to maybe stressful experience in your life, or that really prevented you from the success that you've wanted to achieve?
Yeah, I'll be honest, there's not even just one necessarily that stands out so much above the rest. I truthfully have uncovered probably a list of like 20 to 50 limiting beliefs around money. And I don't think that's unusual. I think that's common. Like that's what I experience with the majority of people that I work with, especially around, when we're working on the business side, working on manifestation. We have so many stories and limiting beliefs with money. I would say one of the most prevalent ones that I've worked on and sort of struggled with and held me back personally was that idea that there's never enough, or there's just enough, but never more than enough. So really, just honestly, the idea that money in a sense is limited in any way has been one of the biggest things that's prevented me from really getting to my own financial goals.
And you make such a great point that there are so many different types of limiting beliefs in general, but specifically, we're talking about money. And they can be as unique as the individual, right? And so there are so many. And so in your case, with the belief that there's never enough or just enough. Maybe kind of the base of kind of maybe a scarcity mindset, which is a very common belief that many struggle with, right? So can you think of any maybe brave action steps that you've taken to overcome that? And, that's made a difference for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, for me, it's about finding what tools and practices work for you and sort of blending them together to figure out what's going to get you the furthest, the fastest. And that's why I love NLP, because that's really at the core of one of the NLP philosophies, is to do whatever is going to get that person there, to their end goal the fastest, and not doing more than is necessary. So I definitely, there's an NLP limiting belief release technique that it's hard to sort of explain because there's lots of like visual elements. Like it's a playful sort of like visualization and exercise that you do with someone, but it's really amazing because it essentially replaces and releases that limiting belief by taking up that neuropathway or fixing that neuropathway. So instead of going in that direction automatically every time you think about money, instead of saying, there's never enough, there's never enough, there's never enough, or there's just enough, it just diverts your neuropathway. So it automatically is going in this new direction where there's not necessarily like a specific belief that replaces it, but it's no longer going in that direction. So it's like lighter and playful, and it's like that belief no longer exists for me in a way. Mm-hmm. And so that, as far as like the techniques that I use with clients, has been incredibly powerful. But something that I think is amazing for your listeners and for your audience, and that anyone can do at home, whether or not they work with an NLP practitioner, is really focusing on what I have now and what I can be grateful for now, has been by far the most like powerful shift on a daily basis that I can make, that anyone can make, by bringing you back to like, do I have a roof over my head? Do I have a device that I can watch this interview on or listen to this interview on? Did I eat some food today? Do I have clean water or a running toilet? Like all of those little things, I think we really take for granted, but that's something that like less than half the world maybe had. Like all those things together, less than half the world has. And so I love making gratitude lists, and that too helps to change the neuropathways in your brain. Even if you're not using that specific NLP technique, practicing that on a daily basis, or when you're in that lack mentality, or when you're in a scarcity mindset, remembering and really like giving thanks and gratitude for what you have right now is a powerful way that I've overcome that fear, and that really anyone can do no matter what.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think those tips that you've offered are very powerful tips for helping us to overcome the fear that can rise up in our beliefs around money. What you've described is that wonderful opportunity where we can just get really present. And because, our mind can work so fast, right? And it can get so far ahead. And that sometimes is what can cause us so much anxiety. But by being just present and kind of, remembering what we have right now, and just even remembering the ground under our feet, right? The roof over our head, like you said, the water we have to drink, the food in our belly, or the food in our fridge to give our belly. Yeah, it can really start to help us with that anxiety and those fears that creep up. Because I do know, when I work with people, money it causes a lot of emotional triggers and fears. And so great suggestions for just getting present. And I really do feel that those are ways to help dissipate that fear and get more centered. So now today, what money belief do you hold true that contributes to your financial health and happiness?
That is a wonderful question. And one of the things that's helped me hugely is knowing that my ability to change my financial situation, but really change anything in my life, that ability, that power fully resides within me, within my energy, within my mindset. And I used to think that it was something external, like something out there, something that I had to go find, a secret that I, like forever, I was looking for, like, what is the secret to money or the secret to success? And honestly, the secret is that it resides within you. All of that power and ability to change anything that isn't the way you want it to be fully resides within yourself. And knowing that, discovering that has hugely helped me to shift my personal life, my business life, and definitely my finances, as well as knowing that not only can I shift my beliefs or my mindset, but you can actually have a lot more power over shifting your emotions than I think we're led to believe. Like, personally, I grew up being told, you can't help how you feel, you just feel the way that you feel. And it was definitely from love, like, you know, out of wanting to help me not feel bad about how I was feeling. But when I learned that I actually did have power over my emotions and I could influence my feelings, that gave me back so much personal power, so much sovereignty over my life. And that's something else that I love to use NLP to help with, is and this is also something anyone can do, is to really tap in under, like, recognizing and be aware of how you're feeling in a moment where maybe money feels stressful, or you have a unexpected bill come into your life. Notice how that makes your body feel, and you can actually turn down those feelings just by noticing them and tapping into them and lessening them. And it's just like a practice of awareness and consciousness. And something else that's useful is you could amp up other good feelings. So tap into, like, something really great that happened that day before that bill came, or the loving relationship you have with your partner, family, or children, and just feel the feelings of that in that moment that stress pops up. And it really changes, like, the level of stress and fear or whatever other negative things you're feeling in your body at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, powerful, powerful. I know that when you're able to get to that place where you take full responsibility for your life, which sounds like a journey that you've taken, and and we can always do that more and more and more, right? Because there's different levels of that, but just to be able to take full responsibility for our life, for our circumstances, that really is a moment of empowerment for an individual, because then you start to really realize the power that's within your own grasp to change things. And that's a very tender moment to realize. And then it just becomes a choice, really. It's making the choice to decide, you know, if that's what you're going to do. And to me, that is, I think, one of the most, just one of the most powerful lessons I've learned along my journey in my relationship to money, that, you know, money's a tool. It's a tool, right? The real power is not the money in my bank account. The real power is the choice, my power of choice, what I'm going to do with that money. I can make a bunch of money, right? But if I'm making poor choices around that money, I'll never still have anything. And I'll constantly be on this roller coaster, up and down, instead of this ladder of this staircase. Mm-hmm. So I love what you shared there. So what would you say, Haley, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is there a lesson that you've learned along the way of, you know, as being a business owner, that you've been able to apply to your relationship with money?
So I would say it's almost more came from my personal life even than business, but it's all intertwined, which is that money is a relationship, really, just like anything else. Like the relationship we have with our potential clients or our clients, the relationship we have. I especially relate it to the relationship I have with my partner, because money likes to go where it's focused on, where it's given attention, where it feels loved, where you trust it. And if you have this loving, trusting relationship with money where you can rely upon it without worry, without fear, more money tends to show up that way. And so when I started looking at my relationship with money, like my relationship to my partner, like my relationship to my business or to my clients, and I realized that I had been in this really negative, toxic relationship with money for a while where it was just filled with fear. I was, constantly worried month to month, or I had that limiting belief we were talking about earlier about there's never enough or just enough, or I'm not going to be able to do, the travel or the fun things that I really want to do. And when I saw that situation and that relationship with money as a relationship and realized if this was a relationship I had with my fiance, for example, there's no way that would be, I don't think we would be engaged. Let's put it that way. I don't think that it would be where it was. And so when I started looking at my relationship with money and through that similar lens of like, how am I treating money? Am I paying attention to it by actually opening my bank statements, opening my credit card statements, looking at my money intimately and having a much deeper experience with it versus hiding away from, those credit card statements or the bills that I have or whatever it was. And instead giving thanks for that bill because it provided me something that I needed or wanted. Or I love creating like a fun ritual when I do like my monthly assessment, where I put on good music and I maybe pour some champagne or like have some tea and light some candles around me. And I make it this really lovely, wonderful experience. So it automatically helps to dissipate that fear, that tension that sometimes we get in our stomachs or in our chests around money. And that has hugely changed things. And it's like, and it also pertains to not just like what I'm doing, but it's like, how do I think about it? How am I talking to or about my money? I have essentially eliminated from my vocabulary saying anything like money is hard or, oh, that's so expensive or, if only I had the money, and eliminating the things that I don't want to create moving forward in my life or in my relationship with money. And instead talking about it in a way where it's like, it's getting better. Like, yeah, I can't wait for, I'm going to buy that soon or something like that. And just switching it up so you're not projecting onto your future the things that you don't want to have or don't want to bring forward in that old relationship you might have had with money. So yeah, looking at it like it's a loved one has really shifted things for me within my business and within my finances as well.
Beautiful, Haley. Beautiful. We're wrapping up. We're coming to the end of our time together. And one of the things you do to help people is to help them get in touch with their purpose and their passion and their gifts, their unique contribution to the world, which I think is also a really powerful way to develop this healthy, intimate relationship with money. And so I know we're out of time, but I'd love for you to share, how can people find you to learn more about you, or even just to continue this very beautiful conversation?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that. And I would be so honored to connect with anyone who'd like to continue this conversation or learn more about what I do or NLP. So the best ways to connect with me, I have a number of different resources for you. The first is, of course, my website, which is www.haleyreese.com, spelled HALEYREESE.com. You can also email me at haley@haleyreese.com. And you can even give me a call at 415-917-4242. I also have a free group on Facebook for female entrepreneurs who are looking to learn more about manifesting, mastering their mindset, ending perfectionism, getting out of your own way so you can really get out there, be visible, and bring your gifts and purpose into the world. And so you can find that on Facebook under the groups. We're called Manifesting Queens. So the URL for that is www.facebook.com/groups/manifesting queens, MANIFESTINGQUEENS. And I would be thrilled to have you join us there as well. I share free resources, video trainings, and just daily practices for you to really amp up your manifestation powers, your conscious creation powers, and build the business and the life that you've been dreaming of.
Wonderful, wonderful. Haley, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I've just learned so much from you today. So thank you. I appreciate you being here today.
Oh, thank you so much, Marlene, for having me. It's really been a pleasure, and it's been so fun chatting with you about this topic. Helping women really improve their relationship with money is so important to me because it just brings you freedom, options, possibilities to really live the life in the way that you desire the most. So thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Haley. Bye.
Bye.
Our brain is a meaning-making machine that forms our beliefs based on life experiences. It's important to understand this because we act on those beliefs as truth, whether they are true or not. In today's program, we talked about money scarcity, the belief that there's never enough. This belief drives us to make decisions based on a mindset of lack rather than abundance. There's not enough money. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the good news. You can change your scarcity mindset. When we intentionally and mindfully take steps to create a new experience, we give ourselves, our brain, the permission to see and create a new belief that's more closely in line with the truth. The truth sets us free. This higher belief powerfully supports us to unfold our financial dreams. I'm here to tell you, you can rewrite the stars of your financial life. Erin Hansen, a 21-year-old poet from Australia, reaches out to that desire to change what lies deep within each one of us. She captures our imagination of what can happen if we just try. There is freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky, she says. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, my darling, what if you fly? Let those words sink in just for a moment. We are often so afraid of failing that we don't even try. But you hear your brain saying, but what if I fail? Respond with these words when you hear that. But what if I succeed? Money belief work requires deep, tender moments of self-reflection. I talk about this in chapter 3 of my new book, Money Wings. There's no doubt about it. Stepping into a new experience in your relationship to money is brave stuff. But here's the promise. If you are willing to do the work, change your thoughts and you can change your life. You can fly. If you're ready to get unstuck and start living the life of abundance that you deserve, you need to unleash the power to change that which lies within you. When you ignore this power, it robs you of your financial dream. You deny yourself your divine right to prosper. Here's something you can do today to start shifting your mindset from lack to abundance. Start a gratitude journal. I love this idea that Haley Reese says. List the things that you're grateful for. Haley pointed out that by focusing on what she had rather than on what she was lacking, she began to slowly change how she looked at her life and the world around her. By looking at her world through this lens of abundance rather than her old lens of lack, she started to attract even more money, more opportunities, and more blessings into her life. Also, this new abundance mindset had an amazing benefit that Haley never expected. When she changed her thoughts about money, the stress around unexpected expenses started to melt away. She immediately focused on solutions and not problems. Problems paralyze us, but actions set us free. Let's face it, our thoughts determine the quality of our lives. Are you going to be happy or sad? Are you going to be optimistic or pessimistic? Frozen by fear or exhilarated by possibilities? Take action. Write down what you are grateful for. Do it right now. Remember the 5-second rule. It only takes your brain 5 seconds to talk you out of something good that can change your life forever. Until next time, stop doubting and start doing. See you next time.